Hello. Hello. Ooh, what a treat. I'm outside. I'll tell you a bit about myself to begin with. I'm a big fan of football. People don't expect me to like football because I look like a vegan Charles Bronson. I would commit the crimes, I've just not got the upper body strength, you know? Trying to do GBH, just end up hugging people. It's endearing, if anything. My favourite footballer is an Italian footballer named Kevin Lasagna. Because he's a real man, and that's what his name is. I don't know very much about him other than that, but I just like to imagine he's a British person pretending to be an Italian footballer. And he just panicked the first time someone asked him what his name was. And he said his real first name reflexively, and then went, oh, God, no. I'm going to have to make this very Italian with the second name. Oh, yeah, it's Kevin Lasagna? Kevin Lasagna, at your service. This is my mate, John Cappuccino. That's my girlfriend, Barbara Carbonara. We're all here, we're ready to play, you know? Sign us up. I won't talk about Kevin Lasagna the whole time. I'm also a fan of water slides. Wet slides. You knew what they were already. I love a water slide. You know, there's issues with the world, and we complain about them rightly, but most people in human history never went down a wet slide. So there's that. What's my favourite part of a water slide? Thank you for asking. It's the bit that goes outside the leisure centre for a bit. Woo! That is elaborate. Whoever thought of that changed the leisure centre game forever, you know? The guy who thought of the little elephant one where it looks like you're going down his trunk was livid, you know? Fully usurped, mate. Imagine how hard that was to get off the ground, you know? Imagine how many leisure centre meeting rooms he was laughed out of. You want to do what to the wall? It's structural, you know? But look at him now, he's probably got one in his house, you know? And outside his house. Crucially. I grew up near a water slide that went outside the building for a loop, which was an honour. But the issue was the loop was opaque, so you didn't know when you're outside. Why have you made that? You just looked at it before you went on it, and you thought, I'm going to go outside at some point on this slide. And then you'd look back at it afterwards and think, I must have been. That was as much information as you couldn't even check on your car. It's the best bit, you know? Just have a look at the car park, oh, it's still there. Reassuring, you know? I would, though, be the worst time to find out your car had been stolen. Half your buzz on the water slide, you know, you're just going down a little glimpse, you see someone crack the window. Oh, God. You get to the end of the water slide, your family's waiting for you in the little skid bit, and you just shoot up. Drive the kids off! The car's gone, I can catch you! You run out there in your Speedo, you jump on the bonnet, you slide off. You've got his licence plate number, of course you do, it's your car. It's still an inconvenience. I wanted to try my hand at some topical material. You know, I know there's a lot going on in the world, but years of smoking weed have slowly eroded all of my strong opinions. So instead, I'm going to talk about a film that came out in 1973. Has anyone seen The Exorcist? Yeah. I love The Exorcist. If you haven't seen it, there's a very famous line in it where a little girl possessed by a demon says to a guy, your mother sucks cocks in hell. And you're supposed to go, oh, no, that sounds awful. But I don't know, I think that sounds fine. I don't think it's good news. You know, I get on with my mum. I love it. I don't want my mum to be dead. And if she is dead, I don't want her to be in hell. But if she is dead and in hell, I think there's worse things to be doing. You know, it's hell, isn't it? It's where the worst imaginable things are. There's a million people burning for eternity in a lake of fire, constantly blistering in agony. My mum's down there sucking dicks. Good on you, Lindsay. You know, you couldn't have done everything wrong. You know? I'm not saying sucking dicks is fun, as Fern rightly pointed out. You know, it's a bit of a rough situation, but it's not being on fire, you know? If you gave me the same option, if you said, do you want to burn for eternity or suck these dicks? I'd say, line them up, boys. You know? Thank you for the opportunity. Your mother sucks cocks in hell. There's a part of it's reassuring. Because, you know, if you're in hell, you're doing things you didn't like doing when you're alive. It's a place of punishment. So if my mum's sucking cocks in hell, that means she never got into sucking dicks in her life. It's good news. It could be worse if she said, your mother's not allowed to suck cocks in hell. And then you go, hang on a minute. What does that mean? That means she lived for sucking dicks. That means that was her favourite thing. That means she got to hell and they were like, step one for you, no more sucking dicks. And she went, this is the worst imaginable outcome. Let me suck them dicks. This is torture. Whose dick's getting sucked in hell anyway? It seems like a weirdly positive thing to be happening. Maybe it's people who don't like having their dick sucked. It's like a 2 birds with 1 stone punishment. But if that's possible, I'm going to start pretending I don't like it. You get to hell and they're like, "You getting your dick sucked?" And you're like, "Oh, no." Maybe it's like floating, just amorphous dicks. You just pluck them out I don't know. Maybe she's at a desk with like an inbox and an outbox, and they're all hard in the inbox and they're all soft in the outbox, you know? Whenever she thinks she's done the last one from the inbox, she puts it down soft, she turns back, "Oh, it's full again." This goes on forever. It's almost like a punishment. My favourite drink is squash. Not the sport, that's not a drink. I love squash. Fruity water? Yes, please. I've always drunk squash. I drank it as a child and I drink it now. And it sort of eluded me that it's not necessarily for adults. Were we aware that it's mostly aimed at kids? Because I didn't know, and I'll tell you how I found out. I was watching TV, they had an advert for squash for adults. And I said, "What are you talking about?" This is squash for adults. It's squash. It's like if I was watching an advert for Specsavers and they said, "Round glasses, now for people who aren't paedophiles." I said, "What are you talking about? I've been wearing these for ages. I've been walking past schools with these on. You've got to let me know." You guys have been lovely. I've been Andy Field. Thank you very much.